I have been making films since like school, but they're all bad. Extremely bad. Like these belong on the dark web. My maths teacher made us sit outside class because we gave him a CD of it, and he's like, "This is a truly terrible film. Please sit outside the class." Okay, you really have to cut this. I will cut this out. Yeah, I think I moved to Bangalore because two things. One, I really love the city. Mm-hmm. I grew up all my life in Chennai. Mm-hmm. I feel like at some point you grow out of a city.
Bangalore 1, Chennai 0.
I'm feeling a little conscious because I feel like I'm yapping too much.
No,
but that is the point of an interview.
Also, podcast is that only.
Is that only? Like, for example, if you've seen the film, like the end, when Naru. Oh, spoiler. But is it really? I don't know. Yeah, it is.
He was an idiot. A complete idiot.
Hi and welcome to the Indulge podcast with me, Roma Laishram. And like every week, I have someone super interesting on my podcast. I cannot even believe that I have Nirmal Pillai here with me in conversation. Either I'm dreaming or otherwise someone will have to pinch me to prove me that this is really happening. Because I have always thought that he's one of the most funniest comedians in India of all time. And I am so happy that you're here with us in the studio. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, that is high praise. Thank you.
Well deserved though. So let's jump right into the conversation. My first question to you, of course, is about your film that is now doing really well on YouTube. Bata Boy and Crocs Girl. We must tell our viewers that this is probably one of the best films that we have seen come out of the city of Bangalore that really captures the essence of what love, relationships and things like that mean to Gen Z. And I had the fortune of watching the movie already before we had this conversation and I absolutely loved it. So let's start with the movie. How did that amazing idea come about and how did the whole process happen? And what do you feel about being a first-time director?
Okay, so I'll go from last question first.
Yes.
How do you feel about being a first-time director? The truth is, I have been making films since like school, but they're all bad, extremely bad. Like these belong on the dark web.
Wow.
You should not.
You don't have to be this brutal.
No, it's really the first film is called Nanga Kadavul.
Okay.
It's a 40-minute film we made in 9th grade about Greek gods coming to Chennai.
Quite interesting.
And then we were the Greek gods. So and we didn't know anything about filmmaking, but there was one summer vacation when we all made it, and we just figured it out how to make a film. It's extremely bad. Like, for example, I was Poseidon. To show that I pull water up, the guy was holding a camera there, I was on the other side, and he threw a rock and I did this at the same time into a puddle. Wow. So it looked like the water. So it's like this, the film. So there was that, when we just did it, there was some hunger that came from that, because I remember we gave it to my math teacher and he made us sit outside the next day because it was a very bad film.
Before you started stand-up comedy? Or?
This is 9th grade.
So technically you were more interested in films before.
I always wanted to be a filmmaker first, not a stand-up comedian. So, and that's what. So ever since that we've been trying. So the thing is, every film is bad, but we did notice small growth in each of the next film. Like something or the other we'll learn and we'll do. I think this film is, that's why on the trailer it says the first real film by Nirmal. So I've always wanted to be a director. Even stand-up I started as a way to kind of make films.
Got it.
Because I remember in college I was doing a lot of theatre and I somehow wanted to break into the industry. But you know the industry is very hard. To be an assistant director and come up is like, it's like finding a needle in a haystack kind of probability.
And we can't deny the fact that people will always have their cousins and their nephews and their this and
that. I have nobody.
Exactly.
So then I realized, oh my God, this is too much crowd. And then I saw comedians who I really love, like Biswa, Sumuki and all. They were all coming out with their own Amazon Prime shows. Then I was like, hey, you know what? So if you become a comedian, then somebody will give you a show. That did not happen. Now, in retrospect, that did not happen. So what I learned that, okay, if you have an audience for yourself, it's a little bit easier and it's a different way of getting there. Then I started working towards being a comedian. And then I realized that is also hard.
But you are a fabulous comedian.
No. But then when I started working, it was hard because there were so many comedians also. True. So somehow then the Instagram thing, the YouTube, Instagram stand-up, all this happened. Now I'm so happy because I'm finally able to do like now I'm finally locked in, and I'm like, okay, I've done something that I really wanted to do.
Now you have to tell us how the idea came about for the
Oh yeah, that. But is it like I'm feeling a little conscious because I feel like I'm yapping too much?
No,
but that is the point of an interview.
Also, podcast is that only.
Is that only? Okay.
Please yap.
Please yap. Okay. Okay. Now I have license.
Otherwise, I have to.
That is correct.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Not good. So.
Yeah. You know what? Fair. No offense to you.
No, not taken. Please yap.
Okay. So the idea came up again. It's because it was about time in life actually. I had moved to Bangalore at that time. I think immediately after I hit a little bit of success on Instagram, I started making money out of Instagram, and I wanted to start stand-up properly. I think I moved to Bangalore because two things. One, I really love the city. I grew up all my life in Chennai. I feel like at some point you grow out of a city.
Bangalore 1, Chennai 0.
Now all the Chennai guys are gonna get
the point.
That is the point. Controversy fuels. It's like anything else. No, but I felt like I wanted to experience a new city primarily. That was the main thing. And Bangalore felt nice because it's like the New York of South India, according to me.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, full. It's like all your guys get placed in Bangalore from all engineering colleges, everywhere from across the world come here. And for some reason, they all stay during that transient period of their lives after college before they find out what they really are going to do. And this Bangalore is the city that they all stay in. And because of that, there's a lot of young people energy.
It's the city of young people. Complete.
City of young people.
Median age is what? Some 28, 29?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
And all my college friends, again, like their life is scripted, got placed here. All my friends got placed here. I came here. I wanted to live independently also, like away from, because I think you develop or you find out the certain things about yourself when you start living alone.
Absolutely.
Then you detach from like a hostel life, or when you detach from like family life, you kind of learn who you are as a person.
True.
This was during that time. So I had moved to Bangalore. I was experiencing a lot of new things. I was going on a bunch of dates. I was realizing how complicated dating was in general. And this was happening at the same time that I was also hitting like a creative roadblock on Instagram and YouTube. I was kind of like, I was feeling like, oh, you started this thing to become a filmmaker. Then where's the film? That thought came suddenly, and then that thought doesn't leave you. It will make you an insomniac.
Absolutely.
And
I like how he pointed at me when he said insomniac. I am proudly one.
We were just having this conversation before, and so it was keeping me up at night. And I was like, you always wanted to be filmmaker. Then where's the film?
True.
That was really bothering me. So then at some point, I think I was coming back on a flight from Malaysia to Chennai. We had just finished a show. On that flight, away from all distractions, no phone, nothing. 4 hours or 5 hours, I think. 4 hours, I think that flight is. For some reason, I just pulled my laptop out and I started writing, and the first draft of the film just came out there.
Super.
Literally, and a lot of things from the first draft to now are there. Like, it's intact.
That's amazing.
Once the first draft is there, it's like now it's just about finessing it, executing it.
True.
That took like a while. But the seed of the idea and all came from that because I was living that life.
But not really a while, no? Not even 2 years technically, no? Since you wrote it, so that's very good, man. I know people who've written scripts and sat on for 35, 40 years.
That's because I think people, luckily I did have the luck of having money to finance it because I was funding it through a lot of the brand deals and Instagram. I'm full sellout. I'm full capitalist.
Please be.
But I'm using it at some level of it to experience things and to also put it into things I actually care about. So this one is not branded.
Very nice.
Even Bata, I think, came and asked like, "Hey, do you want to do something with this?" I was like, "No, this is like a very it's I don't know. It feels pure in some way. So no brand deals in this. Nothing. It's purely just for putting it out there."
I have to tell our listeners and viewers that the movie is free to watch on YouTube. Please go and check it out. I have watched it and I absolutely love it. Now, do tell me, from scripting the film to finally bringing out that great piece of cinema. I know you think I'm buttering you up and talking big about the film, but it was really fantastic.
Really, thanks.
Yeah, I love watching it. It was a breath of fresh air. It was what I've been wanting to see for a very long time because it was young Bangalore talking and so little of that outside, right? So, how did that happen? From scripting to finally getting it onto the big screen. How was that whole process?
I think so. This is the point when I realized how important delegation is. And delegation is not just like giving work to others. It's like it's choosing really, really wonderful people to work with. That is the main thing, I feel. And so the script was there. Now the thing is, I wanted to kind of make it into. It was written originally English, but I wanted to make it into Malayalam and like give a little bit more depth. So there's this writer called Hari Shankar Krishnan, but we all call him Hari Twat. Hari Twat is his name. He's on Instagram. He's a very funny guy. I reached out to him. I put out a call for like writers to come help me with the script. He replied and I knew his work and I really loved it. So he came on board. He was a writer with me on the film after the first draft. So the screenplay and all is done. But like how do you, like for example, if you've seen the film, like the end, when they break up, right, in Eat Naru. Oh, spoiler. But is it really? I don't know. Yeah, it is. But so there is a conversation that they have in Eat Naru.
Which is a very, very deep conversation.
It is correct, but it is also very confusing.
Very.
To people watching it also, that's why Kuriakose mirrors that sentiment. And the first version of that was just because she was leaving the country. But that I've seen in so many films. And then me and Hari Twat, we sat, we talked about our own experiences. Then we rewrote that scene, and that scene took a long time, right? Because it's like, how do you give enough confusion but also enough clarity? So that was the thing, and we realized what actually happened. So then we kind of came down to the point of that ghosting thing, which is, and that doesn't. It's not saying that she's at fault there. Ishita's character. It's actually because why does one ghost? One ghosts because so much shit is happening in your life.
You don't know how to deal with it.
You see this message. You see this somebody asking something else out of you, and you are just scared of that confrontation because you don't know how to articulate your thoughts into words. And it's effort to communicate.
Absolutely.
Communication is a lot of effort. So we take the natural step and we just like kind of, I can't deal with this right now. It's not because of any ill will.
Absolutely.
It's just because you are overwhelmed and you don't want to take up one more task.
Exactly.
And the thoughts in your head are so complicated. Like, how do you even put these to words? How do you explain that to somebody? You don't want that person interpreting it another way. This is the confusion and this is the ether of the feelings that you kind of have. Like it's in this area. So we wanted to capture that. So that to add nuance to it and like a little bit of depth, like that post. They have sex in the movie in a very odd sequence. But
if any children are listening, please
cut, edit. So there is a sequence post that where that sequence was added because this is the first time that they're actually being vulnerable with each other. And this fellow also has insecurity complex.
True.
This is to prevent all the incel people from supporting Gokul. Gokul is also not a good guy. He is also a very insecure guy. He was also love bombing her.
Okay, all of this will make sense when you watch the movie.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know why we're saying this. This will not even get put in the interview.
No, we will take this, but please watch the movie right after this interview so you get all of these references. But yes, complicated love stories of young Gen Z people.
Yes, that's what. Let's reroute back to that point. Yeah,
really complicated love stories, but done with so much finesse. You've also managed to represent.
Oh, wait. Before that, sorry. You can cut from that Hari Twat point to this point.
This is all going.
Oh, no. Okay, fine. But I was talking about my collaborators, which is the main thing.
Yes.
So it's from the script to final product, I realized that there are some people who I've absolutely loved and I wanted to work with for ages. And it was just about finding the bravery to kind of reach out to them.
Nice.
Like my art director, who was Sanskriti, who's now my friend.
She's done a fabulous job.
She is one of the best I've ever. Her art style is so unique, so different. It doesn't feel like an ad. That's my biggest complaint with a lot of others. It looks very addy. Like it's just too well done.
Too pretty for
Too pretty. Hers is very different and it's beautiful and I love her work. There was the colorist who worked on this called Yash Soni. I flew out to Bombay just to make him, just to meet with him, just to talk to him, just to be like, please, you have to do this. There's no other person I trust more. And he's done such a fabulous job. People are on the YouTube also, people are calling out the color grading and how well it's done. Honeymoon Henny, who was F16's producer. I love F16's, the band. Of course you will know them. I reached out to him and I was like, this is this film needs your kind of sound.
And it's fabulous sound.
Yeah, so it's not your typical kind of sound. He's used a lot of like synth, and he's used a lot of different kind of music in this, and it feels very nice. As I wanted his, and it's just about, I think, to final product, it's just about, okay, you have had this germ of an idea. Now you need to bring people into this who are very good at their craft and completely trust them with it.
Absolutely.
And Kripali, for example, she's such a great, she's doing it for the first time. It was just blind trust based on 2 reels that we have done together, and we were not even close at that time. We became close during the filming of this process. My AD, so again, like, it's about filling your lapses. Like, I know I am bad at, this is the thing that we never did in school, college. So if somebody who wants to be a filmmaker actually sees this, it's there we were doing the roles of everything: casting director, producer, location manager.
But your secret is delegate.
Yeah, see, wow. My AD Shweta, she's my manager actually. She's my she's my OML manager. I was like, dude, I need somebody extremely organized, extremely can run a set. She's done live show production, so she produced all. She was like, I've never done AD before, so I called her and I was like, it's okay, you're doing it.
She's done fabulous.
My DOP and editor, Prakar, my editor has been with me since Parota Act, like, or that YouTube era. So shitty YouTube edits you've seen, no, like, we've been doing that kind of stuff, but then both of us wanted to level up, grow. He's edited the movie. He's also co-shot it with the other guy who shot it, who's Gautam, who is he's the guy who was making films with me from 9th grade. So, childhood buddies. It's the first time both of them are shooting a film. They've not done it before.
But they're perfectly synced.
I don't know how they pulled up so hard, because on the day of shoot, suddenly there are 5 lightmen, 3 camera assistants, and I have fully trusted these guys to completely take onus, and they did.
Nice.
And we had such a tight schedule to work it, because like, if we go 2 minutes above or 1 minute above board, you're gonna have to pay extra. Your budgets are gonna skyrocket. It's a big gamble we took, but then everybody pulled up so hard and everybody gave it enough heart as much as you. So I think it's about finding that. I don't want to make it sound like a pretentious thing, but if it's about finding those people who buy into the vision and commit to it as much as you, and who are very talented, and that's how you finish a film. I realize.
Amazing. I'm Nirmal Pillai on the Indulge podcast in conversation with Nirmal Pillai, and I must again, encourage our audience and our listeners and readers to please go watch the movie. It's available for free on YouTube, and you'll get a lot of the context about what we're talking about. So some of the best shots in the film that I thought, and I think we also spoke about this, that beautiful shot of Blossom that was so beautifully done. You've also shot around bars across the city and many popular spaces. So in many ways, I feel like this is your tribute to Bangalore.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, who planned those beautiful shots, and why did you feel like all of this had to be in the film?
It was all planned in the first draft only. So Blossoms was there in the first draft. Bob's was there in the first draft. These were all just good to haves. But then luckily we spoke to them and they just were like, which was insane. It was a crazy stroke of luck. And the entire thing, I really love films as a viewer, which also, the city is also a character. So what are those, for example, Woody Allen, now controversial person, but all of his films, New York is such a character in it.
True.
Payal Kapadia's How All We Imagine Is Light, Mumbai is a character in it.
True.
Zoya Akhtar's this thing, what is that? Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Spain is as central a character in it as much as the main. How many people started going there after it? Whoever could afford it. I love films there is a show on Netflix, Master of None, Aziz Ansari made, and second season of that, he goes to Italy for that, and Italy, the way they've shown it, if you show a city beautifully, I think it does wonders for your film, and you don't just show some stock sets. You're in a house, it's a stock set. It shouldn't feel like that. So that was an intention from the very beginning. And because we have lived here for 2 years, this is our, how we see Bangalore. Blossoms is one of them. Kaban is one of them. your, what is that? Kaban we can't say because we went and guerrilla shot there.
That's okay. I mean, they might keep us out of the park, but the park belongs to us.
Yes, exactly. Correct. Yes, let's go. Yeah. Blossom, Bob's Bar is iconic. These are all like iconic city places. New Tipasandra, where I love that area so much. A lot of my friends live there. We shot it there only.
Nice.
And also a very key thing we wanted to make sure is that even the house party and those sequences, like in the beginning there's a house party. The house party, we looked at references of all other house parties in all other films, and quite a bit of them, I'm not saying all of them, it's like some impersonal space.
True.
It feels like a set. Almost, but not like in the chaotic, like it's a big area. Who are three bachelors living in this mansion?
Forget about the chaotic set. People are laughing on time. It's choreographed. You can see
Yeah.
it, right? Like so.
So another Sanskriti was so instrumental in that because I told her, listen, I want this to feel very tastefully done, but also still like budget, broke. Like how people our age live. And that's why it's in literally one hall, and there are so many people packed everywhere. So that many art elements. That's something playing on some old Tamil songs are playing on the background because that's what actually is happening. So it was a very conscious choice to kind of reflect the city in like a very not normal, but just a slightly elevated way.
Nice.
It's not create the city again.
Yeah, not required.
Not required, just city is already beautiful. You just place it at the right places.
Absolutely.
The camera, the city will do its work for you. That's it. Yeah.
Now we shall jump into the story of Nirmal Pillai, which very few people know about. I know you were huge on Instagram, even during the lockdown. I think that's the period when you jumped up to popularity. I think
Yeah, slowly built. Yeah, slowly built.
So, where did this all start? I know you've already told us that you wanted to be a filmmaker first.
Yeah.
But where did the comedian Nirmal Pillai get born? And after this, we're going to talk about your debut in cinema, which you made a few years ago.
Debut?
Cinema. You acted in a film.
Oh,
right?
that.
Yes, which you forgotten about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about being a comedian. How did that happen?
How did I become a comedian? I told you there was a goal for being comedian. A comedian happened because, but then I realized, okay, you have to get good at stand-up also. So it's a work in progress. It's like a decade-long effort that a lot of people take. I'm in that process. Comedian was interesting because I really liked. So there are some people who I've looked up to in terms of modeling my career around. One of them is Childish Gambino, this fellow, Donald Glover. He has done stand-up, he's done acting, he's done direction, he's done music, and he's been good at all of them. And I really liked that approach. Like if I have the privilege right now, which Instagram afforded me, which is a good thing, which is a great thing, which is that short videos which get you an audience. Now you have a vast audience. Now a small set of that audience will come to whatever new venture you do. But vast majority have signed on for something else. So that small thing comes for something. So first was the Instagram audience who came for the short skits and everything. Out of that, then I started doing stand-up with Abhishek. And honestly, huge shout out to Abhishek for that because we were just sitting on the idea for a long time, but he has been doing it for a little longer.
Yeah.
And he just forced me to start doing crowd work with him. And we just booked out some 4 venues.
Lovely.
I've never done crowd work before that in my life. It's a paid show. He's like, go, do 20 minutes.
Wow.
I'm shooting bricks. So that happened. And then slowly we started putting out things from that also. And it kind of built. So that small niche came for that, but that niche started building. And that niche became bigger. Now that is kind of a main niche. That is your main kind of audience where I've heard people won't recognize my name and all, okay, but suddenly I can hear of the periphery, hey, I'm the stand-up comedian. That is the tag suddenly now, and it surprises me all the time.
Instagram is your archive now.
These are the old style of videos. Then at some point, being a comedian was that. It was just Abhishek pushing me on the stage, doing it. Then me and him, actually, this is when I really fell in love with it, is when we went to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We had to do, it's like by force, we had to do a live show every day for 21 days.
Wow.
And through the month, we had to do a live show every day. And this is not even to Indian audiences. These are to a global audience. There are 2,000 shows happening in Edinburgh every every single day. And you have to kind of stand out from them. So we really had to think out of the box and like, how do we are brown people, we are Indians. How do we bring random people to our show? And we are performing in a classroom. Edinburgh is usually designed to, Fringe is usually designed to build a show. Me and him were like, okay, what is popular in the West? Indian matchmaking. And we are here. And we are brown people. Nobody else is doing this. We were like, let's do Indian matchmaking in Edinburgh Fringe. People came, surprisingly. So through that show, we kind of started building out through 21 days, every day, because we were forced to perform to different people. I feel like I kind of loosened up, became myself. Because the hardest part in stand-up, I realized, is to learn how to talk like yourself. Like when I go on stage, when I went on stage for the first time, I still have some videos, it's very embarrassing. I just go on stage like, hey guys, what's up? My name is Nirmal. What's your name? It's like this, it's very bad. Because you think you have to put on a pretense when you go on stage for the first time.
That's what you've seen, so yeah.
So what you've seen. So you're trying to be somebody else all your time on stage. And then at some point you kind of realize, oh, this is how I actually am. And that is a journey that will take another decade, but it's there somewhere. I'm more confident now. And during this process, I kind of loosened up about like just feeling free, saying whatever. So Edinburgh Fringe, that is a show that we designed there, which we started touring with, and then we started putting out episodic videos of that on YouTube called First Move, which is a dating show that me and Abhishek are doing. It's an improv comedy show.
I've seen a few.
You've seen it? Yeah, it's nice. So that kind of became, so every 40-minute videos of putting us out there on Instagram. And this is not us trying to be funny or anything. It's just us saying random shit that's come to our own. And it's us in our like real or like true face. So people, I think, are liking that.
Yeah.
Because it is doing pretty well. So people are kind of liking that and just thinking that, this is, because we are kind of being ourselves.
Absolutely.
So this is what I enjoy about stand-up now. So that is the hardest part about it. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I must say though, you're probably one of the first comedians who has very casually told me, I practiced at the Fringe Festival. You know, that's where I learned to be a comedian.
No, it's true. But that's
it's true, but that's a kick-ass story. And
it is. We were very lucky to be there. Every day we were having the best time of our lives there. It was so nice because you're also seeing some 3-4 shows and it's such an open, warm place. Nobody judges you for anything. You can put on any kind of show you want. You can, except the thing is, you can be whoever you want, but if your show sucks, they will tell you it sucks.
Oh,
yeah,
good. That's good.
I've seen so many walkouts of other shows. Luckily for us, nothing happened. We were quite lucky. We got good reviews also. It was quite interesting. But there were some really bad shows also.
It dawned on you, but you are funny, Nirmal. So.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cool. Nice. So, that jump takes me to my next question, which is something that we've been talking as journalists for a very long time. So many comedians go the easy route, which is, catch one marginalized community and just attack them and abuse them and make fun of them and poke humor towards them. Something both Abhishek and you have been doing since you've come on the stage as comedians is you've stayed away from that. You've stayed away at picking at communities, picking at smaller groups, picking at this. Has that been a conscious decision?
Yeah, 100%.
And why? Why did you decide not to go the easy way?
No, I just think that's not us. If it came naturally to us or something, maybe yes. But it just doesn't. It's like for example, every comedian when you start out doing open mics and all, no, you try every single kind of comedic persona there is. And in some of them, you do try the dark, edgy style humor. That always happens to every comedian. I think I tried that for like 2 open mics or something, but then it was about the feeling that sat with me after it. It's not even the thing we have to understand about those guys or like the people who do it really well. There are a lot of people who do it well.
Yes.
Like comedy that kind of pushes and makes you feel like, and then you're like, should I?
It's funny.
But it's funny also. So there are people who do it really well, but they have taken so long to master that. And they truly believe that what they're doing is just pushing boundary. It's not. I think that at least some of them who do it, some of them may have some malice in it, but I think a good majority of them don't have malice. They're just trying to be. They're just trying to be different. They're trying to. So I just realized that's not us. That's when we tried it. The feeling that sat with me after that is just like, why am I doing this? This is. I like sometimes like if somebody like for example Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, or like a Bill Burr, for example, I laugh because I know that Bill Burr or something, for example, is trying to push that. He knows it's offensive, and he's consciously crossing that line and he always toes the line really well. Like he toes the rope really well. But to toe that rope really well takes so many decades of experience. And I just never sat. He could do. I enjoy watching that, but I just realized that's not something I could do, and it's not something I could pull off. It's not something I also feel good about. I think that's it.
Okay, so tell us about your first film, the film that you debuted in. How was that experience?
It was actually wonderful because I got to work with somebody who I've loved for a long time. Like there was a heyday of Chennai. New wave of Tamil cinema.
Yes.
Out of that, 4 people are there: Karthik Subbaraj, Balaji Mohan, Nalan Kumaraswamy, and Nalan Kumaraswamy. Oh my God, I forgot the 4th one. I think Alphonse Putran only. So, but he started Neram actually. Balaji Mohan was one of them. He made Kadal Sodapodepudi, then he made Mari.
True.
He's one of them. I got an opportunity to act with him in his film. I was like, what more can you ask for? The film was in London. I was like, you can give me visa also. Wow. You're gonna put me up in London for 1 month and I just have to act. That was so cool. Shout out to Sharada ma'am who referred me for the film. Because she saw me on Instagram and then she brought me in for an audition. I acted with Kalidas, who was really, I had a very, very fun time working with Kalidas, Dushara. Dushara Vijayan is now huge. He's popped off like crazy. Amla Paul. The main takeaway for me again is also because my main goal again in life ever was to be a director. To be a director, you need set experience because you kind of need to know what to do on a set. I didn't want to be assistant director because I saw the crowds, but I realized being an actor was such a great way of being on set
and knowing everything
and just absorbing everything, because it's just about and I absorbed so much knowledge on that film set. And it was nice acting. It was a challenge a little bit because it was me doing it for the first time in front of a camera. Stakes are high. I think I did an okay job. I'm not sure, but I learned so much for directing.
Nice.
I saw Balaji Mohan sir, he never raised his voice once.
Oh, lovely.
That is so contrary to the image I had of directors.
Generally.
He never raised his voice.
Especially in the Tamil industry.
Especially, I don't even know. So he never raised his voice once. So it was wonderful. And I hope that film comes out soon. I don't know where it is. I hope it comes out.
You also did a short role in a short film.
Yes, Richard Anthony directed it. He was a very nice script. That was actually my first cinema experience. Not a feature, but it was one of those anthology prime ones. Yeah, it was very. I really enjoyed that also because again it was. Like I saw this for the first time about how you make a film, and these were my main takeaways from it. But everybody was so nice on that set. Aishwarya Lakshmi, who acted with me on it, she was so sweet. The bunch of my friends who were there in it. So it was actually we only shot for a limited time, so I didn't get enough time to hang out with everybody and kind of take away. But it was very, very nice just kind of being on a film set and seeing about how people are bringing this land. They were actually. Richard was a great director. He was trying out some new things. It didn't feel like normal Tamil cinema. It felt a little bit indie, a little bit like.
Got it.
So it was. So I saw that. I saw Balaji sir's film. Then I saw one new film which I've acted in. I think Krishna Kumar sir is doing it. It stars Rudra, who was a brother of Vishnu Vishal, Mithila Palkar, Nivashini, and
shooting is done.
Shooting is, I think it's done. I hope it's done.
Any clue when it's coming out?
So my relationship with films.
I have done my shit.
Exactly. So that's why I take full onus on films I am making or projects I am doing, first mover. This thing, because if you ask me that, I can tell you when it's coming out. I have full control over that, and I really enjoy that. Films, the only thing is my relationship is I will come, I'll really have a great time, I'll enjoy, I'll really work with some wonderful people. But then after it's done, it's I have no expectations from it.
True.
Whatever it's going to give me. I don't have that, this is going to be my big break. I really don't have that for anything. Once a project is done, it's okay, you take it, you don't take it, you accept it, you don't accept it, it's fine.
Exactly.
A lot of people have a lot of trouble in their own lives.
True.
It's not like the artist trap is that you go into it and you think that everybody should give a shit about this right now. But that's not true. Everybody is living their own life. It's extremely hard. And if it connects, and that's a great thing. If it doesn't, it's fine. You just catch them in the next one. That's the challenge.
So was Nirmal always this mature about his career? Like you sounded absolutely like you've been in the industry for 35 years. So
I have been in the industry of social validation for 3 years, which has taught me a lot.
Well put.
It's social validation is the currency that I have exchanged to get opportunities. So I kind of understand now how it's working. I used to feel this in like micro dosages. Like for example, when a reel didn't do, like look at the stakes. Like back then in lockdown when I was making reels, every 2 days I was putting out one reel. I held myself accountable to that. And every time a reel doesn't perform well, which was quite a bit, because one reel will perform really well, it'll go viral, it'll connect with a lot of people. The next reel won't do well. And that used to make me feel so bad. So I kind of feel like I kind of got over that. Like I was like, why are you beating yourself up over something like this?
Nice.
That kind of built. Like for example, the first time I realized also it's about people need to get time to get used to you doing something new.
Absolutely.
Like for example, first time I but then they will come around to it eventually. First time I put out the announcement for Parota, which is my YouTube show, which I really love. That's one of my favorite things I've made. And I was so excited by it. I first put it out on Instagram. This is at the time when I got a good audience on Instagram. I put it out. It didn't do well. And then I realized, then I was feeling a little sad, but then after the episode started coming out, it started doing really well. Then it started becoming, now every time, even if I put on YouTube, even if I'm putting this trailer for this film, first comment, all the comments is, nice, but when is Parota Act coming back? Like, it's, so people got used to that, and then it did very well. And then after that, again, I put out something, first move I think we announced, and the announcement didn't do well, but then the episode started doing really well. So then I've kind of gotten used to this thing where I'm like, it just takes time for people to get used to an idea, and it's your job to kind of communicate that to them.
I think a lot of creators, content creators and comedians don't seem to realize that a lot of the content that you're doing is so absolutely brand new that you need to let your viewer get used to it, to understand it for the first time.
Yeah, otherwise they're like, what is it? Some film he's making.
Exactly.
Like that is the realistic, for me it's such a big deal because it's like, it's my film, put so much, I know the effort and everything. But the viewer, on the other, he has access to
so
10,000 films every day. Absolute masterpieces. If this film doesn't match an expectation level or some level of quality that some other films have given him, he's not going to connect to it. This is these are also again learnings from like that 9th grade I think it started. That film, my god, that film, we screened it in AVM Studios.
Can we get access to it?
Yes, I will send it. It's
oh no, I thought you put public, but okay.
No, it's not public. It's on my channel only. I'll send you an unlisted link.
Fine.
It's quite bad. But we screened it in AVM, and this is before we even knew anything about this. We called everybody, okay? And I think I've been failing from a very young age. So it's gotten me used to this.
Okay.
We called everybody, friends, family, everybody for the screening. Imagine the same screening in BSc. That's why I was a little paranoid that day because I'm used to problems happening. That day we pressed play, the sound stopped playing at the middle, and at some point there was a half an hour break between like the 3rd scene and between the 5th scene, and we realized, oh, the film didn't render properly. Then we played the rest of the film using live audio, like not the dubbed audio, live audio on Premiere Pro. And terrible. I'm telling you, my parents, they were huge shout out to them. They saw us make absolute crap and still were like, it's okay, make the next one. It's okay. That's such I wouldn't, if my kid made something like that, I'd be like, please quit immediately.
Which is why you're not having a kid.
Which is why I should not be a parent. But so my parents dealt with it so maturely. They did tell me it's not good, but you will get better. They did tell me that. And I think if something is bad also, I have a hunger of like, I'm going to prove it to you next time. Slowly. So that film, my Max teacher made us sit outside class because we gave him a CD of it. And he's like, this is a truly terrible film. Please sit outside the class. So I've seen and I've experienced and we were so hyped for it. So you get so excited for something, but then reality is a little bit less disconcerting. And it's nice to have low expectations because when something does really well, you're like, nice, okay, cool. And then you move on. That's it.
So even though he's not hyping his film, I have watched it and I'm hyping it completely. Please go watch it. This is the third time I'm saying it to you, so please go watch it. We come to the end of this conversation.
Wonderful.
Now that you've done this, you've done comedy, you've got into cinema, you've been the director, you've scripted your first film. What's next for you?
I think I found my calling.
Yeah.
This is it. I want to make a film, and I do want to make a nice film that makes good money at the box office because I want to be rich.
Yeah.
I want to be rich. Not rich. I want to just be financially like good.
Nothing wrong with being
Nothing wrong with being rich. I want money. I want a long career in films. Only way to do that is to make good. But I really believe in Malayalam cinema style.
Absolutely. We all do.
It just proves to you that you can make something so wonderful, like artistic, everything, and it's not boring. It's not an indie art film. And it somehow does great numbers at the box office also, which, like for example, films like Avesham. So there, some people have lit the beacon. It has gone past, and you can see the path.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I want to make a great Malayalam style film, but in Tamil.
Very nice.
And me and my team, again, I really want, my team is extremely dear to me. Prakar, Gautam, Hari, Shweta, all these guys are, Kripali maybe, but she's going to become a big actress after this.
Oh yeah, she was
so if she decides to work with me after that, I'm kidding. But I want to keep this Abhishek, all these guys, I want to keep them together close to me, and I'm gonna make we have already started writing the feature, and I think that is the next goal, to somehow get funding for that and to somehow make that and have it come out in the box office in the theater. So that's my goal.
I'm going to quote someone who recently reviewed a Malayalam movie and kind of beautifully summarize it, saying Malayalam cinema today is ensuring that the nuance becomes the mainstream.
I swear to God.
Yeah, and I think you're doing the same thing. So on that beautiful note, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
This is a nice
Best
interview.
of luck with the movie, and I hope you
you
keep producing amazing work, and we also see you on stage a lot. On that note, here's Romal signing off from the Indulge podcast.
Thank you so much.